I heard back from both of them when I sent out the agenda, but.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, can I ask, if we want to put a, like a digital sign in the window for FrostburgFirst, like a.
Yeah, I know, I just did
I
that.
did. That means I got a message.
For like a monitor. that
Oh,
has
before
the
we
changes, like,
leave, could I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Would it
I
be
know you
placed
and
inside the
Janice
window?
had talked
Yeah.
about
Yes,
working together for a
Don't
spring
dictate
event.
what you put in your
So I wanted
windows.
to just touch base with you about that and
okay, sure.
See, make sure we're all on the same page.
I just found, I was looking through the notebook and found the notebook that I took with me that day to go through the,
yeah,
Be handy.
so.
When you came over, yeah.
We go for
Yeah, and I still haven't
have endless posters.
found it, because her dad was his own ruler at some point.
oh,
But I would have to get into the archives of the Grand Lodge, I think, to find out when,
gotcha.
because I don't know that we have anything.
Commissioners, just to let you know, we are live now.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess we should go ahead. It's after, we got 6 o'clock, right?
Yep.
All right. We have enough, we have a quorum here.
We
right?
do.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Historic District Commission meeting for today, Monday, November 13th, 2023. If you would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Maryland Land Use Article empowers Frostburg's Historic District Commission to implement the city's Historic Preservation Overlay District according to the regulations set forth in the Frostburg zoning ordinance. All meetings of this commission are open to the public and conducted in compliance with Maryland's Open Meetings Act. The Frostburg Historic District Commission is charged with the preservation of historic structures and the surroundings within the designated district in order to safeguard the heritage of the city, stabilize and improve property values, strengthen the local economy, and foster civic beauty. Roll call. I am the chair, Dawn Hine. Vice Chair Joseph Hoffman is not with us. Bill Detterman.
Here.
Rob Rapan.
Here?
Maureen Brewer is not here with us this evening. And our alternate, Daniel Filer, is not here this evening. So commissioners, if you would please review the agenda, and when you are ready, if I could have a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for the meeting tonight.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the agenda is approved. And commissioners, if you would please review the minutes from our previous meeting from October 9th, and when you are ready, if I could have a motion.
I'll move we approve the minutes from last meeting.
I guess I can second it even though I wasn't here for the meeting.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the minutes are approved. So that brings us to our first presentation, the Brownsville Public Art Project, Frostburg Museum Courtyard, 50 East Main Street. And then if you would just say your name for the record.
So I'm Deirdre Robertson. I'm the Executive Director at FrostburgFirst and presenting this project. And just to give you kind of a brief summary, this is a project that started last year with a call for artists. We asked for artists to come up with a proposal for a project that would help us to commemorate and celebrate the Brownsville community in downtown Frostburg in some way, and celebrating in particular the founder of Brownsville, Tamara Brown, and, sort of celebrating the impact that that community had on Frostburg as a whole. We ended up with some really great proposals, and then the one that you see before you was the one that was finally selected. We received $50,000 in funding from Maryland State Arts Council to implement this project. And we have done extensive work with a forensic historian, as well as Chloe Jackson with the Brownsville project, and working with a lot of the descendants from the original Brownsville community as well, to make sure that we have the correct plots labeled on the map that's represented there, and also to find out a little bit more of the history and the background, to make sure that when we put up interpretive information about this, that it's accurate. So what you see there is the final product of what we anticipate this is going to end up looking like. It'll be in the mulched area in front of the museum, which is also on St. Michael's land. So we've worked with the museum and also with St. Mike's to ensure that this is going to fit in and work well with both of those properties. Everybody's amenable to moving forward. And this is going to be made out of primarily steel plate, stainless steel. We'll have a cast bronze plaque in there. Right now we're waiting for them to put concrete anchors in before we get really heavy snow, and I'm very anxious because I haven't done that yet, but I feel better now that I see that other people are pouring concrete this late. That's made me very, very anxious. And then the decorative elements that you see sort of outlined on there are made of enamel and ceramics. So it's going to be a very, very hardy structure. It's going to be something that will survive Frostburg elements and winters and things like that, and last for a while. And so you can kind of get an idea on, if you see the sort of the shadowed page here, of the size. There's meant to be sort of a representation of an average height person standing next to it. So we anticipate it being at total around 6 feet tall. And so it'll be something that'll be visible from the road, hopefully, that will draw people in again to encourage visitors to the museum, to learn a little bit more about Frostburg history and Brownsville history as well. And we also really loved the design of it because it represents that shape. It's meant to represent the original plot that was purchased by Tamar Brown, that #1 plot. And then there's sort of a one that's carved in there, and that will shine out with the sunlight. It'll kind of put a little one on the sidewalk as it goes around. So there's a lot of different interactive elements to this. And sort of one of the favorite parts of this proposal was that the descendants are going to be able to come and actually engrave their own names on the plaque that'll have everybody's names listed on there. So they'll be able to kind of hammer it. I forget exactly how that's being done. He has a particular term for it, but it's going to be sort of hammered in. They'll have the opportunity to put their own names on. We're hoping in the spring. So that's sort of an
I see that there's a plaque, so that is going to give the history.
The cast bronze plaque is mostly just going to be that'll be where the title of the piece is, and the artist name. What we are doing right now is getting additional funding to put up a separate interpretive display that will go with it, sort of in line with the ones we already have around downtown. So it'll have a little bit more description about the community, about how it fit in with Frostburg, highlighting some of the other sites that maybe people around here especially are really remembering. We always hear people talking about Harper's Chicken. That's like been the one thing that everybody has mentioned to me. So like making sure things like that get mentioned in there as well. And then of course linking it back to the monument or the memorial at FSU and trying to tie everything in together.
Is it the same on both sides?
So that's been a topic of discussion because we've had, as research has progressed, we've kind of changed the outline of the map. So you can kind of see on this, the one that has it looks like we're going to end up doing it dual-sided. And the idea with this is to kind of show the original concept of the original Brownsville, and then also how it spread over time. So as families moved out, as plots were purchased and people were being moved to different locations, it's adding sort of along like Park Lane where some of those families were moved to. So that's the idea, is that you have on one side the original Brownsville community, and then on the other side is sort of the sprawl that occurred afterwards. And that'll be part of that interpretive displays, explaining that, and then hopefully some of the additional sprawl as we get that information. It's difficult to track down, but our historian is doing a really, really thorough job of that.
Is it a local historian? Is it a local historian?
No, she's out of, just outside of Frederick, Maryland. And she's been visiting Maryland State Archives, and she's come down to Frostburg a couple times to go through local information over at FSU and things like that. So she's done quite a lot. She has certainly more research sources than we would have had, and has been able to accomplish a lot in a very short time, which has been great. And she's actually tracked down pretty much all of the original plots, all of the deeds, and like the history of those. So like the original owner to each sale, following it through, I think, like the 1970s. So.
Is what you see here, I don't know, a bigger picture, is that just a slot through the,
Yeah,
It's an
essentially. So
opening
that's
through- okay.
that's meant to represent
thought-
the one. Yeah. So it's hard to see. I don't think I have. I may not have included that on here. But when you look at the, yeah, I don't think I did. When you look at the original, the map. Let's see if I can find the. So this is kind of a, well, it's terrible to see on the thing, but this is sort of the original shape of the,
Plot.
yeah, the plots there. So this is, right here is the number one. This is the Tamar Brown's spot.
the purple?
So, or this yellow right
The
here.
first gen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's meant to, this represents that shape, and then that one is actually how the original one was drawn in the original map. So that was the idea there. And there are some of the colors that are being used in there are, it's meant to be colorful just in general, but some of the colors are specific to different sites. So there was the place was the mustard seed, obviously it's going to have sort of a yellow tint to it. I think they were trying to come up with an idea for Harper's Chicken, and there was something called the Blue Room. I think they finally tracked something about that down, and that was going to be blue. So different things like that they were trying to assign certain colors to.
And each of those are gonna be separate little plates
Mhm.
that they're putting on there.
Yeah, which is great because it means if we do end up having additional changes later on or things,
You
they
can
can be
adapt.
added.
Yeah.
We'll also be able to add additional family names if they come to light in the future. So it's a very, it'll last for a long time. It's going to be very easy to maintain. It'll be weather resistant, pretty much vandalism resistant. I mean, there's going to be very few things that are going to damage this significantly that wouldn't be able to, be repaired fairly easily. But it will be fairly easy to add things to if we need to.
So when the families come to hammer in their name, does it go on the plot, the actual piece of
That's
land?
the idea. I think they're trying to figure out, it depends on the size and obviously how many people are there.
Sure.
So they were going to try to put them on the individual plots. There's also plenty of room at the base here where we can put the names as well. So it just kind of depends on
So
how
you'll
many.
decide that
Yeah.
as time comes.
We'll go with whatever's most aesthetically pleasing at the time.
Sure.
From this picture, would the sidewalk going into the museum be here?
Yep.
Because the Christmas tree's
Yeah.
gonna go in right where this is.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be on the other side of the,
Okay.
yeah. All right, are there any further questions?
No.
Did we get any public comment?
We did not. We solicited public comment as we always do, and none was received.
All right, thank you. All right, if there aren't any other questions, commissioners, are you ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I have studied the application and all relevant documents and presentation related to this case, and I am familiar with the property in question. I find that the proposed changes are compatible with the neighborhood because there is a general compatibility of exterior design, scale, proportion, arrangement, texture, and material to be used. Based on these findings, I move to approve the proposal because of the use of the exterior material are closely similar. Well, that's not true. I just not read that part of it.
Yeah.
Pursuant to section 4.1, point J, point 4, point 1, point C.
Do I hear a second?
Oh, I second. Sorry.
All in
two of us.
favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed. You are approved. Thank
When,
you very much.
I have one other question. When are you thinking?
So-
It sounded like you tomorrow, but.
Oh gosh, I wish. No, I'm hoping that the concrete will get poured in tomorrow. But so the idea is that we're going to be able to do the name engraving. They can do separately and try to have that done so it'll be installed on the piece before the full piece goes in. So we're hoping to do that at the Spring Arts Walk. If the timing works out for that or not, it depends on the fabrication. But the goal is to do that in the spring. And then the final installation, we're aiming for mid-June.
I notice, I know that's a drainage pond or whatever you want to call it. It's a runoff
Swale.
pond, yeah. And is there going to be access other than, because that grows tall and,
Yeah, that's been one of the, because this is the year, I don't think I had ever noticed the tall
Yeah.
grass
It's
before.
mature,
Yeah, it kind of went bananas this year. We've talked that over with the parish, and they are amenable to us doing some additional work in that area. So I think we're probably going to look at some beautification projects associated with that. That might be something that would work out for like a Beautify the Burg project. Certainly trying to put in, especially since it's going to be sort of a 360-degree piece, we would want to try to put in some, stepping stones or something so that people could go around it. Obviously, we don't want to take that whole space up,
right?
but we would certainly want to put some landscaping in there just so it would be more attractive and more accessible. So.
Just something to keep in mind. I think it gets a lot of water,
Yeah, it does.
so you're gonna have to plan your plants accordingly
Yeah.
that are soaking that up.
Yeah, that's definitely something we'll have to look at. We talked to MDE about everything, and somebody had mentioned something about a protected moss or something that lived there, which was news to me. I don't.
Didn't know about that.
I didn't either, and apparently it doesn't exist. And the
Oh,
the guy was very like, what? When I asked him about it, he's like, there is no such thing. So that was a relief. But yeah, so he didn't seem to think there would be any real concern with it.
Oh,
We
that's
might just have to add in some more mulch and things like that to help
Gotcha.
build it up.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much.
All right, that brings us to 21 Frost Avenue, door replacement, Mr. Kroll. So if you would just tell us about your project?
Well, I think I was here, a month or two
Yes,
ago
yes,
to see
right.
about putting new steps in,
right.
and they actually poured my concrete today for the parking spaces.
Oh, wonderful.
So once that gets cured and everything, we'll get the steps up. And the porch, I was actually doing some work inside, remodeling it. When I moved in there, it had some old paneling on there from probably the 70s. And so I've insulated it, drywalled it, this sort of thing. And this wall where the door is, I have not drywalled at this point, because the more I thought about it, I thought, well, if ever, it's actually a 32-inch door right now, and I thought if I was ever going to go to a 36-inch door,
Yeah.
now would be the time to do it while the wall is open, and it's just a matter of moving a few 2x4s around and inch in the siding about. So anyhow, yeah, I decided to go to a 36-inch door, and I think the door we picked out, I think actually
Yeah, I didn't
might
see a picture.
I've got the
Work a little
Lowe's
better.
link.
historically
Here
than
on the
what's there
screen.
now.
Gotcha.
It's supposed, it's actually, it's a solid wood core, but it has a fiberglass exterior, but,
Is
Well,
this
wood
the
maintenance.
design you're looking at here?
yes, and it, but it's supposed to give the appearance of a mahogany wood
Mhm.
on the door, and then, of course, has the oval glass center.
And
I
it'll be
thought-
the same door for the front and the
That's what I was
side?
going, yes, I wanted to get the okay, because I thought if I'm replacing the back, I may not get the front one on with winter coming, but come spring, I'd like to put a twin to it on the front. I thought would give a better appearance. And until we get there, I'm getting due for new steps. The front steps I have not been fond of since I moved there. They look a bit like a army bunker or something, but so I'll probably be back to see you in the springtime about.
It looks like a pretty big step into the house from there as it is anyway.
Yes, yeah, and that's the other thing. If I'm able to replace the steps, I'd like to go to wood ones at that time and yeah, bring it up to the door. But like I say, that I'll cross that path come spring, I guess. But
So it was probably a porch that was enclosed.
yes, yes, it was. Yes, yeah. Judging by the paneling, I'm guessing that was probably done back in the 70s, but you know,
Could be.
yeah.
And then, are you doing a light as well?
Well, yes. We had picked out a porch light for over the door here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
All I
do
have
we have?
is that it up
Yeah,
there?
the link
Yeah,
for
that's
the.
it.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that's what would go over the door. And then, I think we did, yes,
A
there. I
floodlight.
was looking,
Over
What's-
the door, excuse me, or
Beside the
or
door?
beside the door. Yeah, whatever you, I'm fine with whatever. I guess beside the door would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that would be fine. And
Is this for the front door or for the back door?
Side.
this would be the back door.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd actually thought, well, again, we'll cross that bridge come springtime. There's actually two lights up in the overhang on the front that perhaps come spring, I'd see you guys about getting twins to that to just put down here
Oh,
by
okay.
the door.
yeah.
But I'll deal with that then. But as it is right now, those floodlights
Oh,
or
I
whatever
see.
you
Up here
are
in
up
the
here.
soffit. Mhm.
Yeah, they're getting pretty nasty looking at this point. And when I looked about replacing those, everything I was seeing largely looks the same. They may have them in black, but I thought I'd go with the white might fit in better.
Well, it'd be easier to replace the bulb on that style light than that. You have to get a ladder to get up and get the other one.
Exactly, yeah. And these as well, I think, are an LED.
Yeah,
type of light
looked
as
like it
opposed to
was,
these
yeah.
Big, I don't know if they're halogen or what in the tarnation era, but
Yep, LED.
they're electric suckers, I know that.
All right. Anything else you wanna tell us, or?
Not that I can think of. I think the things, specifications on the door, I guess you guys have. I don't know. But I mean, it's a 36-inch door. It's fiberglass with a solid wood core.
Oh, that's kind of standard now with handicap accessibility, so
Exactly.
better off to do it now, like you said.
36.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I got the wall opened up inside already, and I thought now would be the time to do it.
All right, commissioners, any other questions?
No question.
Okay. Did we receive any comments? No?
We did not.
Okay. All right, commissioners, if you are ready, could we have a motion?
I'll present the motion. I've studied the application, all relevant documents and presentation related to the case. I'm familiar with the property in question. I find that the changes are compatible with the neighborhood because there's a general compatibility of exterior design, scale, proportion, arrangement, texture, and materials to be used. Based on these findings, I move to propose because of use of exterior materials closely similar in appearance to original materials or significant buildings in the district,
I second.
pursuant to section 4(1)(j)(1)(c).
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the project's approved.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys have a
We'll
good
be in
night.
touch tomorrow.
What's that?
We'll be in touch tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Thank you much.
Thank you.
All right. No old business, it looks like, this evening. New business, though, we have some administrative approvals.
Yes. So, since our last meeting, we have issued 4 administrative approvals. One for parking lot resurfacing and striping at the 7-Eleven store. We had in-kind roof repairs at St. Mike's. It was a partial roof repair. And also at Frostburg United Methodist Church, which was, again, a partial roof repair. It was all the repairs were done in kind with the same materials that exist. And then at 9 Ormond Street, which is right on the other side of this building, there is a new commercial space opening, Frostburg Music and Performance Academy. And they have applied, excuse me?
They're moving here.
Yes. Yep, so, they applied for grant funding through the Community Development, Facade and Building Improvement Grant. And their signage was approved by Maryland Historical Trust, and therefore, it was an automatic administrative approval through this commission.
Wonderful. Where were they before?
This is a brand new business.
Okay, that's what I thought. I
Yeah,
had not heard, when I saw it, and I was like, I don't know that one.
yep, it's a new one, so they'll be offering, music classes specifically for stringed instruments.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you all are familiar with Jody Moser, but he will be their lead, instructor. He's pretty big in the local music scene.
Wonderful. All right. Anything else this evening for the good of the order, commissioners? Questions or?
Not really. Well, Annie, did you ever talk to Larry Guthrie about that situation, and he said nothing, or yes or no, or?
They tell me that they are actively working on it. So,
It'd be
I
nice,
can
a
circle
simple
back.
solution would be to paint it the same color as the background.
yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna redo the system itself,
Right.
Yeah.
because they just put that up, but if they could just paint it same color as the background, it wouldn't stand out, especially now that there aren't any leaves in the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll certainly talk to him. I've got a couple other checklist items that I need to discuss with him, so I'll add that to my list.
Which one is that? I'm not,
The mural on the side of the building
Oh,
across from
On,
7-Eleven.
Center Street.
got it.
All right. If there's nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
And I second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Okay.
Commission